So it's like having this like personal SEO assistant that summarizes everything in plain English and highlights those red flags, right? The things you need to focus on.
And the best part is, and Sean really drives this point home in the article, is that Hobo doesn't just tell you what's broken. It actually tells you how to fix it.
Oh, nice.
Like he really emphasizes the actionable insights you get. Things like identifying pages that are underperforming.
You're right.
Flagging any broken links you might have. And even, get this, uncovering potential security risks.
Wow, that's huge. And especially like if you're dealing with multiple websites, think about all the time you'd normally spend, trying to manually identify those buried pages that are not linked properly, the ones Google just has a hard time finding. Hobo, boom, finds them instantly.
And that, my friend, that is a total game changer, especially for agencies, freelancers, anyone juggling a bunch of client sites.
Yeah, for sure.
And speaking of clients, Sean makes it super clear that Hobo is designed to be budget-friendly.
Okay, good to know.
Even if you're rocking a personal Gmail account.
Which is great, because it means you don't need a massive budget to get your hands on some really, incredible SEO insights. And from what I'm gathering, it can handle a crazy amount of client sites.
Yeah, you can handle like an unlimited number of client sites without exploding your API costs.
The API talks.
Yeah, let's break that down for a second, because I know API, it sounds a little techy.
Yeah, a little bit.
It can sound like we're speaking another language, but it's actually pretty simple. Think of APIs. Like these little messengers. They allow different software programs to talk to each other.
Right. Yeah.
So in this case, Hobo needs to connect with Google's systems to get all this data right.
Right.
And using those APIs, well, that can get expensive.
Okay.
But the cool thing is, Sean designed Hobo to be super efficient.
Okay.
So it stays well within those free API limits that Google sets.
That's huge. It's like finding those little secret loopholes that save you money. Let's be honest, managing SEO for even one website can be a real handful, am I right?
It's a jungle out there.
Right. Now imagine trying to ramble SEO for multiple clients, each with their own unique keywords, rankings, and Google Analytics.
Oh, the overwhelm is real.
It's enough to make anyone want to hit the panic button. But fear not, fellow SEO warriors, because today we're diving deep into Hobo SE. Have you heard of this?
I have, yeah. It's been generating some buzz.
It's supposed to bring some serious order to the SEO chaos. We've got Sean Anderson's blog post here. He's the creator, and he's basically saying Hobo SE is like having your very own SEO analyst living rent-free inside your Google Sheets.
Yeah, what's interesting to me is that Sean isn't trying to reinvent the wheel here.
What do you mean?
Well, instead of building yet another standalone SEO platform, he's using a tool that many of us are already using every single day, Google Sheets.
Okay, I have to admit, you had me at Google Sheets, but I'm still a little fuzzy on the details. What exactly is Hobo SE and what makes it so special?
So picture this. Hobo SE is like that super organized friend we all wish we had, but for your SEO data.
Okay, I like where this is going.
It lives inside your Google Sheets and pulls all your valuable Search Console data.
Okay.
Uses Google's APIs to do this. And then it lets you create all these custom reports, track your rankings.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you get to analyze the heck out of your website's performance.
Hold on, you said APIs. Is that where things get super technical?
Yeah.
Because I'm not a coder.
I hear you. And honestly, with Hobo SE, it's not as scary as it sounds. It's designed to work within Google's free API limits.
Okay, so no need to shell out for a paid Google Cloud account or anything like that.
Exactly. Think of Hobo SE as a bridge between the data in your Search Console and your Google Sheets. It's pulling in information you wouldn't be able to access otherwise.
So it's less about writing code and more about giving Hobo SE permission to access the data, right?
Exactly. There is a little setup involved, like configuring OAuth consent, which, again, sounds very technical.
It does sound a little intimidating.
But it's really just a secure way to authorize Hobo SE to access your Search Console data.
So it's like giving a key to a trusted friend who's going to help you tidy up a bit.
Yes, your SEO data house. And speaking of tidying up, Sean claims Hobo SE can handle multiple Search Console accounts. Music to my ears.
Oh, tell me more. I manage multiple websites, and let me tell you, it's a juggling act.
Well, this is where the Google Sheets integration gets really interesting. Imagine all your clients' data in one place.
All of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you can create these custom dashboards and reports.
Wait, are you serious? And since it's all in Google Sheets, there's no new software to learn, right?
You got it.
Which is music to my ears. Okay, Sean throws out some pretty impressive claims about what Hobo SE can do. But give me specifics. What kind of reports are we talking about? What would make an SEO pro do a happy dance?
Well, one of the reports Sean highlights is the Domain Traffic Trend Report. He says it's a game changer for understanding how algorithm updates impact your website's performance.
Because we all feel it when Google decides to do one of its algorithm shuffles, right? But figuring out exactly how it affected your traffic.
It can feel impossible.
Like detective work.
Right. This report lays it all out visually, shows your traffic trends over time, but then it overlays that with the Google algorithm update timeline.
So you can actually see if that dip in traffic lined up with a specific update.
You got it. No more guesswork.
That's what I'm talking about. Actionable insights. Okay, that's one report down. What else does this thing do?
All right, so you're battling for every inch in the SEO game.
It's a battlefield out there.
It is. And that's where the winners losers report comes in. It's like having this bird's eye view of the battlefield showing you which pages on your site are surging ahead after those algorithm updates.
Or, let's be honest, plummeting.
Right. You get to see the winners and the losers.
So instead of just seeing the overall traffic changes, you're seeing which specific pages were affected.
Yes, exactly.
Wow, based on click data. That level of detail is...
It's everything, right? Let's say you're working on a blog post, optimizing it, putting your heart and soul into it.
Pouring your blood, sweat, and tears.
Exactly. And then an algorithm update hits.
Yeah.
And it just tanks.
Yeah.
This report can help you figure out, was it really the update? Or are there other issues going on with that page? So this winners and losers URLs report, it sounds a bit ruthless, doesn't it?
It definitely grabs your attention.
That does.
And trust me, when you see a page's performance take a nosedive, you'll want that heads up.
Oh, yeah.
This report zeroes in on clicks as a key metric.
I was just about to ask about that.
Okay.
Clicks seem straightforward.
Yeah.
But why are they so important in the grand scheme of SEO?
Think of it this way. Your page showing up in search results is like setting up a shop.
Okay.
But a click. That's someone actually walking in because something caught their eye.
I see.
It's a direct measure of user engagement.
Okay, that makes perfect sense.
Right.
It's like the difference between window shopping and actually making a purchase.
Yeah, exactly.
More clicks equal more interest, more potential customers. Yeah. I get it.
Exactly.
I'm following you.
Now, Hobo's Winners and Losers report utilizes two primary calculations to identify your website's all-stars and those who might be benched.
Got it.
The first is the sum of performance differences.
Okay.
This analyzes how your website's performance has evolved over time.
So it's looking at the long gains.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Instead of just looking at a single snapshot, it reveals those long-term trends, the ones that tell a bigger story.
That's incredibly helpful.
Yeah.
It's like differentiating between a short-term blip and a consistent pattern of growth or decline.
Right, exactly.
What about the other calculation?
The second one is the percentage change in performance based on click count.
Okay.
This one drills down into how the number of clicks on your pages has shifted.
Clicks going up, clicks going down.
Exactly.
Okay.
Has a page suddenly gone viral or taken a dip in popularity? This metric reveals those dramatic shifts.
So we're talking about identifying both steady growth and those sudden bursts of activity.
That's right.
That's really powerful.
It is, yeah.
So Hobo takes all of this data, the clicks, the search positions, everything, and does the number crunching for us.
Exactly. Hobo acts as your personal data analyst, but it doesn't stop at just crunching numbers.
It goes a step further.
Yes, exactly. It connects the dots, identifies those winners and losers, and helps you understand why those changes are happening, which is pure gold for refining your SEO strategy.
I'm starting to see how this could save a ton of time and guesswork.
A ton, yeah.
But let's be honest, SEO can feel overwhelming. Is Hobo's report digestible for those of us who aren't exactly coding wizards?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
And that's a huge part of what makes Hobo so valuable.
Okay.
It takes these intricate data points and transforms them into clear, easy-to-grasp visuals.
Okay.
You don't need to be a tech whiz to extract valuable insight.
That's music to my ears.
Yeah.
Now, the article mentioned a 6-step process Hobo uses to gather and process all this data.
Right.
Could you break that down for us without getting too technical?
Absolutely.
Okay.
First, Hobo connects to your Google Search Console account. We already touched on that.
Right.
It's like granting Hobo access to your website's performance records.
Okay.
Then it's all about fetching the raw data.
Okay.
Essentially downloading a massive spreadsheet of information.
Okay, I'm following so far.
Okay.
What happens next?
This is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Hobo dives into that mountain of data and starts making sense of it.
All right.
It analyzes trends, identifies those all-important winners and losers. It's like solving a complex puzzle.
So Hobo takes on the role of a digital detective,
Yes,
piecing together the clues hidden within the data.
exactly.
What about the last couple of steps? What does Hobo do with all those insights?
That's the beauty of it. Hobo presents its findings in a clear, visually appealing report.
Yeah.
No more staring at endless spreadsheets.
Right.
And here's the kicker. It automates the entire process.
Wow.
You receive regular updates without lifting a finger.
That's great.
It's like having a 247 SEO assistant working tirelessly behind the scenes.
Okay, now that's impressive.
Yeah,
It handles everything from data collection to analysis and reporting.
you got it. And that level of automation is truly a game changer.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
It's like handing off those tedious, repetitive tasks to a reliable assistant, freeing up your time and mental energy to focus on what matters most, making informed decisions that elevate your online presence.
That's a breath of fresh air.
It is.
It sounds like a huge weight off the shoulders of website owners and marketers.
Absolutely. Hobo's all about working smarter, not harder.
Now, we've been deep diving into the winners and losers report.
Right.
But you mentioned the Hobo SEO Dashboard has even more to offer.
Oh, yeah.
Can you give us a sneak peek at what else it can do?
Sure.
My curiosity is officially piqued.
Oh, there's so much more to explore.
Okay.
Think of this report as just one tool in Hobo's arsenal.
Got it.
It also offers things like automated SEO audits.
Yeah.
These are invaluable, like having a website mechanic running diagnostics to identify any underlying technical issues that might be holding you back.
Hold on, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
So it's not just about analyzing what's working.
Right.
It's about uncovering hidden problems that are dragging your website down.
You hit the nail on the head.
Okay, great.
It's like having Hobo whisper.
Okay.
Hey, you might want to fix that broken link. It's messing with your search rankings. Site. It's like having a detective on the case looking for clues to explain any sudden changes in your rankings.
So if I see a sudden drop in clicks on a page that was performing well,
Yeah.
Hobo can help me figure out if it's because of something I did
Yeah.
or because Google changed the rules of the game.
Exactly. It takes the guesswork out of the equation, allowing you to focus on solutions instead of panicking about the unknown.
That kind of peace of mind is invaluable. Now, we've been singing Hobo's praises.
Yeah.
And it's clear this tool packs a powerful punch.
It does.
But what about the human element? Can we rely too much on data and automation? Doesn't creativity still play a role in SEO?
That's a fantastic question, and it's something I'm really passionate about. Tools like Hobo are incredibly powerful,
Yeah.
but they should be seen as allies, not replacements, for human intuition and creativity.
So it's not about handing over the reins entirely to the robots.
Not at all. Think of Hobo as your co-pilot. It provides you with the data and insights you need to make informed decisions.
Okay.
But ultimately, it's up to you, the human,
Right.
to craft engaging content, build a user-friendly website, and truly connect with your audience.
That makes perfect sense. It's about finding that sweet spot between data-driven insights and that human touch.
Exactly. It's about using those insights to fuel your creativity, not stifle it.
Okay, one last question before we move on. I'm really intrigued by the client management aspect that the article mentioned. How does Hobo streamline that, especially the whole reporting process? Because, let's face it, creating reports can be a major time suck.
Tell me about it. That's another area where Hobo really shines. It allows you to manage all your clients within the dashboard, pulling their data, tracking their progress,
Right.
and even generating those client-ready reports we mentioned earlier.
So instead of manually creating separate reports for each client,
Yeah.
Hobo can essentially do it all for you.
You got it. And these aren't just any reports.
Right.
They're clear, concise, and visually appealing, making it easier for your clients to understand the value you're providing.
Talk about streamlining your workflow. No more wrestling with spreadsheets and formatting nightmares.
Exactly. Hobo takes the pain out of reporting, freeing up your time to focus on what truly matters. Building relationships and delivering exceptional results for your clients.
I can see how that would be a game changer for agencies, especially those juggling multiple clients. It's all about working smarter, not harder.
Right.
Right.
Hobo empowers you to be more efficient, more effective, and ultimately more successful in your SEO endeavors.
Okay, we've talked a lot about the power of analyzing your website as a whole.
Right.
But what about those times when you need to zoom in on a specific area? The article mentioned Hobo can handle both domain and single property analysis. Can you explain what that means?
Of course, domain analysis gives you that big picture view of your entire website's performance. It's like looking at a map of a city. You get a sense of the overall layout. Single property analysis, on the other hand, allows you to hone in on a specific page or section of your website. It's like using a magnifying glass to study a particular detail.
Okay, so it's like the difference between looking at a satellite image versus zooming in on Street View.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the beauty of Hobo is that it seamlessly handles both. Whether you're assessing your website's overall health or focusing on a particular page that needs a little TLC, Hobo equips you with the insights to make strategic decisions.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like having a Swiss Army knife for SEO.
Right.
Ready to tackle any challenge that comes your way.
I like that analogy. It highlights the versatility and adaptability of this tool.
Yeah.
The digital landscape is constantly evolving, and Hobo is designed to evolve right alongside it.
That's reassuring to know, especially for those of us who aren't tech experts.
Right.
It sounds like Hobo empowers anyone with a website,
Yeah.
regardless of their technical skill level,
Mm-hmm.
to take control of their SEO.
Absolutely. It's all about making SEO accessible and actionable for everyone.
Okay.
Whether you're a solopreneur just starting out,
Right.
a seasoned marketer managing multiple campaigns,
Right.
or an agency handling a roster of clients.
Yeah.
Hobo can elevate your SEO game.
I love that.
Yeah.
Democratizing SEO, one dashboard at a time. Well, we've covered a ton. Setup involved getting into the Google Cloud Console, enabling APIs.
For our listeners who just heard the record scratch, can we break that down a little bit? What does setting up Hobo SE actually involve?
So Sean has a really detailed guide in his blog post.
Okay.
But essentially, you create a new project in Google Cloud. You enable something called the Search Console API, which is basically just allowing Hobo SE to talk to your Search Console data.
Got it.
And then you configure this with consent.
Which sounds intense.
Yeah, no, it sounds a little scary. But it's really just about making sure that Hobo SE has permission to access your data securely.
It's like the key to your super organized, top secret SEO data vault.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then once you've done that initial setup, Hobo SE does its thing. It starts pulling in all that beautiful data.
So there's a bit of upfront work, but it sounds like the payoff could be massive, especially for folks out there who are juggling multiple websites.
For sure. And then on top of that, you have all this data in a format that is so easy to use and analyze. Google Sheets is so flexible, you can really slice and dice this data.
Create custom dashboards, tailor-made reports.
Exactly. And this is actually where Sean's vision for Hobo SE gets even bigger than just SEO analysis. He sees it as a way to centralize all your client data within Google Sheets.
Yeah, that's interesting. So we're not just talking about SEO, we're talking about big picture client management. So we're talking about Hobo SE being this like SEO Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
But it could also be the key to a much smoother client management system.
Exactly. Okay, so imagine you're getting ready for a client meeting.
Okay.
Instead of having like 15 tabs open, pulling reports from different tools,
Oh, I've been there.
you open one Google Sheet
Okay.
and you've got their latest SEO data from Hobo SE
Right.
right next to their website, traffic from Google Analytics,
Okay.
their social media engagement,
Wow.
even notes from your last meeting, all in one place.
Okay, so we're talking about a whole different level of client management here.
Right.
This single source of truth.
Yeah, and because it's Google Sheets, you can customize it.
Of course.
You want a dashboard that shows a client's year-over-year SEO growth.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah.
You want to see that next to their conversion rates.
Yeah.
You can pull in that data and arrange it how you want.
It's like you're building your own custom SEO command center for each client. So we've gone from figuring out algorithm updates
Right.
to completely changing how we manage client projects. That's a big deal.
It is.
Yeah.
And I think this potential for client management, it's really exciting. We're talking about making things easier, communicating better with clients,
Yeah.
delivering more value to them.
Because at the end of the day, it's not about just having a bunch of data. It's what you actually do with it, right?
Exactly.
And Hobo SC, it's like it gives SEO pros the power to go beyond just the numbers and really tell a story.
Yes, it's connecting those dots between the SEO performance, the website traffic, how engaged people are, and then the bottom line for businesses. And having everything easy to understand and customizable within Google Sheets. I mean, the possibilities are kind of endless.
So for our listeners out there who are like desperate for a better way to manage their SEO workload, especially across multiple websites,
Yes.
Hobo SE is definitely something to check out.
It is. It might not be the perfect fit for absolutely everyone.
Right.
Especially those who maybe aren't as comfortable with that initial setup we talked about. But for those who are willing to put in a little bit of work up front,
Yeah.
Hobo SE is super powerful, it's cost-effective, and it lets you take control of your SEO data and maybe even translate how you handle client management.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we want you to think about how Hobo SC could fit into your own SEO processes. Could this be the thing that helps you unlock deeper insights, build even stronger relationships with your clients, and ultimately get those awesome SEO wins? Something to think about as you navigate the wild world of SEO. Right?
Exactly. And Sean mentions that there are a couple ways to, populate this tab, but the automatic method, it sounds like pure magic.
Okay, tell me more.
So picture this. You connect Hobo to your Google Search Console account.
Right.
And boom.
Okay.
It pulls in all your client info, like automatically.
Well, wait.
No more manually entering names, websites.
That's amazing.
It's like a breath of fresh air.
It's huge.
It's massive.
And it can. Think of it more like a direct line. Like you set up this direct line to talk to Google and ask some very specific questions about your website.
Okay.
And in return, you get these like super detailed answers. So the Google Search Console API, that is our direct line in this case. And man, it's packed with information.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So no need to brush up on my computer science degree to handle this.
No, not at all. This blog post breaks down the entire setup into 12, believe it or not, simple steps. And best part is we'll just be using, your regular free Gmail account.
Okay.
And the free access that Google gives us with that.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, it's all about making these powerful tools accessible for everybody.
I love that. Yeah, everyone deserves to know what's going on behind the scenes of their website, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So where do we even begin this adventure? Where's our first stop?
Our first stop is going to be the Google Cloud Console, which again sounds a bit intimidating, but it's really just Google's main hub for managing all these cool tools and resources.
Okay, so kind of like a behind-the-scenes control panel for everything Google.
Exactly. And so the first thing that we're going to do is actually create a new project.
Okay.
And you can think of a project as like a dedicated spice. That's where we're going to set up that direct line to the Google Search Console.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
So according to this blog post, we got to give this project a very specific name. API access.
I love it. They're so organized.
Yeah.
Having a really clear name like API access keeps everything nice and tidy, easy to find later.
Just like labeling that toolbox so you know exactly what's in there. All right, so we created our project, called it API access, and now we're diving into the world of APIs and services. Okay, I'm kind of starting to feel like a tech wizard over here.
You're catching on quick. This is where things get really, really interesting.
Because we're about to enable the Google Search Console API.
Yeah.
Which is basically like giving ourselves permission to access all that sweet, sweet website data.
Yes, you got it. You're essentially getting your backstage passes, and we're about to peek behind the curtain here. And from what I hear, there's a lot to see.
That's what I'm excited about. This blog post was hinting at, like, I can analyze my website traffic, I can see how Google sees my website, and even test how user-friendly it is. But before we get ahead of ourselves, what's next on the setup to-do list?
So the next thing that the blog post mentions is to enable the Search Console API.
Okay.
And then we're going to grab something called a project number from the Cloud Dashboard. And don't worry, it sounds way more complicated than it is. And they give us a really handy link to take us right where we need to go.
Okay, so we're enabling the API, which I guess that's like, I don't know, flipping the switch to activate that direct line.
Yeah.
And then we're grabbing our project number, which kind of sounds like that secret code you need to, like, I don't know, access a hidden level in a video game or something.
You're not wrong. That project number, that's our unique identifier, so Google knows it's really us requesting this data.
So it's like our own personal key to the Google Search Console treasure chest. Okay, I am ready to unlock this thing. What's next?
So the next couple steps, involve a little bit of copying and pasting, but the blog post really holds your hand through it. They tell you exactly what to put, where to put it.
Okay, so instead of like, overwhelming our listeners with all this technical jargon, maybe just give us the Cliff's Notes version. Like, what's the big picture goal for these next few steps?
Yeah, basically we're creating credentials.
Okay.
Which, sounds fancy, but really all it means is we're proving to Google it's really us asking for all this data, right?
Got it.
It's like having like a secure key card to enter the Google Search Console VIP lounge.
Okay, so it's all about security.
Exactly.
Making sure that only authorized personnel can see this data.
You got it. And the blog posts, they even recommend downloading a file with all these credentials in it.
Smart.
Like a backup copy of your VIP key card, just in case.
Smart move.
Yeah.
Especially for someone like me who, you know, tends to misplace things from time to time. So once we've got our credentials all set up, what's the grand finale? Like, how do we wrap this whole setup process up?
Believe it or not, we're pretty much there.
No way.
The last step that the blog post mentions is to test the API connection just to make sure everything's working as it should, like sending a little test message through that direct line that we set up with Google.
And if that message goes through, we are ready to start like harnessing the power of Google Search Console.
Yes.
This is so cool. I got to be honest. I'm feeling very official all of a sudden.
As you should. You're about to unlock so much information about your website.
I know. I feel like a real website analyst over here.
That's right. And remember, this is just, this blog post is the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
They even mentioned some other cool stuff we can connect to, like, Google Page Speed, even Google Drive.
Wait, hold on. Google Page Speed? Like the thing that tells me how fast or not so fast my website loads.
You got it.
Oh, okay.
And that's just one example. We can pull in all sorts of data, like about our website speed, the performance, how it stacks up against the competition, and get some personalized recommendations for how to make it even better.
Okay, now I'm seeing the real potential here. It's not just about like, oh, who's visiting my website. It's about understanding how Google sees my website.
Exactly.
And how I can make it better for Google, I guess, too. Exactly.
A data-driven approach. Yeah. Improve your website's visibility, performance, just all around better user experience.
And to think, this all starts with a few simple steps.
Right.
And a free Gmail account. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But I am curious, this blog post keeps mentioning something called the Hobo SEO Dashboard.
Yes.
What is that all about?
So the Hobo SEO Dashboard, this is where things get really, really cool. It's like, imagine taking all that raw data from Google Search Console and then turning it into like an actual roadmap for your website.
Okay, so instead of just having like this mountain of data, I have a tool that actually helps me make sense of it all.
Precisely. Imagine this, like a dashboard that shows you exactly which keywords are bringing people to your site, which pages are killing it, which ones might need a little love, even how your website's loading speed compares to your competitors.
That's amazing. It's like having a personal SEO consultant, like on call 24/7.
Yes.
Just analyzing data, and giving these personalized recommendations.
That's it. And remember those other APIs that we talked about connecting to, like Google Page Speed? All those insights, they feed right into this dashboard, giving you this like holistic view of how your website's doing.
Okay, so if I'm understanding this right, connecting to the Google Search Console API, it's really just that first step.
It is.
It's like, I don't know, I'm unlocking the door to this whole universe of website analysis tools and resources that I can use.
It's true. And the best part is all these tools give you the power to make informed decisions about your website.
This has been seriously eye-opening. I got to say, I kind of feel like I've graduated from like message in a bottle website owner to like captain of a fully equipped digital ship ready to sail.
There you go.
But before we sail off into the sunset here, any final words of wisdom for our listeners?
Just remember, data, it's incredibly powerful. And if you take the time to understand how people are finding you, how they're interacting with your website, you can make it way more engaging, user-friendly, and honestly, just more successful overall. This tool is awesome. It crawls your website and finds all kinds of little things that you need to fix.
Yeah.
And then take all that data and send it straight to your Google Drive.
Straight to the cloud.
Straight to the cloud. I love it.
So you can get to work immediately.
Yeah, so let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
First things first, you download Screaming Frog.
Right.
Super easy to find.
Yep.
And then you open it up.
Okay.
And right away, this guide is telling us, we got to set our crawl limits.
Fire up Screaming Frog and head over to the configuration menu.
Yeah, that's right. That configuration menu, it's kind of like our control center for like setting up the whole website crawl, before we actually let loose.
Right.
And, one of the first things we need to do is set some crawl limits.
Check.
Now, another thing this guide really emphasizes is making sure you set the user agent to Googlebot smartphone.
Now, why would we do that?
Well, you want to see your website.
Yeah.
Like Google sees it, right?
I guess so. I mean, who else would I want to see it as?
You know what I mean? Like you want to see it how they see it.
Right. Yeah.
And now the guide is telling us to save this configuration.
As a profile. Interesting.
Yeah.
So we don't have to do it again.
So we don't have to do it again every single time.
Every single time.
Genius.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so now things get really exciting.
Ooh. I love exciting.
Because we can schedule these crawls in advance.
Wait, so I don't have to like manually do this every time?
No, you don't.
This thing can run on its own.
You can set it and forget it. It's like having your very own SEO robot working for you around the clock.
I love that. It's so true. Like before I started scheduling my crawls, I always felt like I was, playing catch up.
Yeah.
I was always behind on my audits. But now that it's automated, I can really dive into analyzing the data.
Totally.
I can actually strategize. Yeah. It's been, honestly, a total game changer.
Yeah, this is like a power user tip today.
Yeah, power user tip for Screaming Frog. That should help you save some time.
Exactly.
So you can focus on the other important things you got going on.
Yeah.
So the source material we're looking at today is actually talking about using Screaming Frog specifically for scheduling and exporting data.
Right.
So, we all have Google Drive these days.
Very much.
And Google Drive is just a fantastic place to store your data.
Right.
And especially if you're doing, lots of SEO audits, you're going to end up with a lot of data and you want to keep it organized.
Yeah.
And so the idea here is that Screaming Frog can automatically crawl your website on a regular basis and then export that data directly to your Google Drive.
Right into a nice organized spreadsheet.
Yeah. And so we're going to walk you through that today.
Perfect.
So the source we're looking at kind of jumps right into step 6, which is setting up scheduling for crawls exports and file management.
Yeah, a lot of people, I think, skip the scheduling thing, and I think that's a mistake.
Yeah, big mistake.
Big mistakes.
It's so convenient to have these reports just
automatically show up.
Like
then you drive.
Yeah, so we're going to walk you through how to do it.
Okay.
So first you're going to go to File and then Scheduling.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
And then that's where all the fun begins.
Yeah, and this is under Configuration.
All right. Right.
In Screaming Frog.
Yeah.
So you open up Scheduling, and then the first thing you see is the General tab.
Right.
And this is where you set the frequency for your crawl.
Yep.
So you could choose daily, weekly, or monthly.
Sweet spot for most people.
I think weekly is great.
Yeah.
Unless you're, maybe working on a really big site or something.
Right.
You might need to do it more often.
Yeah. Or if you're running tests or, making lots of changes, you might want to do it daily.
Right.
But I think for most people, weekly is a good cadence.
I agree.
So once you've set your schedule, then you want to go to the Export tab.
Right.
And that's where you can configure what data you want to actually export from Screaming Frog.
Okay, so the Export tab, this is really, really important because this is where you get to choose, like I said, which data is going to get sent to your Google Drive.
Right.
And you can export, tons of different reports.
Oh, yeah, you can go crazy with it.
Yeah, I go crazy.
That's where you got to be careful.
Yeah.
Because like I said before, you don't want to just have like a million files in your Google Drive.
Right.
So what we recommend focusing on is the bulk export reports.
Yeah, bulk exports are awesome.
Yeah. So and you can find a video on Screaming Frog's website that kind of walks you through all the different bulk export options.
Perfect.
But I think the most important one is the error reports.
Okay.
Right? Because like at the end of the day, what you're really trying to do with these audits is
you're trying to find problems. So you can fix them.
Exactly. So you can prioritize the most important things to fix.
So error reports, this is a great way to just get a quick overview of any major issues that are happening on your website.
Yeah, exactly. And, it'll show you things like broken links,
right.
Slow loading pages, any kind of like crawl errors.
Yeah, anything that's going to prevent Google from indexing your site properly.
Exactly.
Okay,
perfect. So once you've selected your bulk exports, then you need to choose where you want to export them to.
Right.
And so you can just use the drop-down menu and select Google Sheets.
Okay.
And that will automatically create a new spreadsheet in your Google Drive.
Perfect.
With all the data from your crawl.
And I love that it's all organized into spreadsheets because you can really dig in and slice and dice that data.
You can use all the cool Google Sheets formulas and stuff.
Exactly.
And then the last thing is to enable the overwrite existing files option.
Okay.
And this is really important because
it's clean.
It keeps things clean.
Yeah.
You don't want to have like a million versions of the same report.
Exactly.
So if you enable that option, then each time you run a crawl, it will just overwrite the previous report.
Perfect.
So you always have the latest data.
I love that.
Nice and organized.
So we've covered setting up the schedule, choosing your bulk exports,
right,
sending them to your Google Drive, keeping everything nice and neat.
Yep.
What else? Anything else we should know?
One more thing I would say is don't forget to save your crawl data locally as well.
Okay, so you can also save it locally.
Yeah.
So this would be on your own computer.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's always good to have a backup,
Right.
but also lets you compare different crawls over time.
That's interesting.
So, if you're making changes to your website, you can see how those changes are affecting your SEO.
Oh, I see.
And you can do that by comparing the crawl data from before and after you made the changes.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
So to save your crawl data locally, you'll go to local file exports and then save crawl.
Okay. Local file export, save crawl. Got it. Okay.
And then you can just choose where you want to save it on your computer.
Perfect.
And then you're good to go.
So that's it. That's all you got to do.
Pretty much.
But the thing is, it's such a time saver.
Right.
Because once you set this up, you don't have to think about it again.
You just let Screaming Frog do its thing.
Exactly. Screaming Frog will just do his thing, and you'll have all this great data in your fingertips.
And then you can focus on the important stuff, like analyzing the data.
Right, and actually fixing the problems.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's all about working smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've connected the APIs. We've got this mountain of data pouring in. But how do we actually make sense of it? It sounds kind of overwhelming.
Right. So that's where automated reports come in. Screaming Frog can automatically generate reports for you, like internal HTML and external HTML reports.
Okay, so let's break those reports down. I mean, for someone who's like, okay, I'm intrigued, I'm interested, but I don't really know what those reports are. Tell me what I can expect.
Yeah. So the internal HTML report, think of it as like a blueprint of your website. So you can see broken links, or you can see pages that aren't linked to anywhere else on your site and fix those issues that could impact your SEO.
Got it. So it's kind of looking inward at your site, like how are things structured, what's going on?
Right, exactly.
Okay, so what about that external HTML?
So
what even is an external link?
So basically an external link is when you are on a website.
Okay.
And you click on a link that takes you to another website.
Okay.
So it's a link that's leaving that domain.
Like if I'm on Wikipedia.
Yes.
And then there's a link to the EPA website.
Yeah.
That would be an external link.
Exactly.
This is where it gets really exciting, I think, for folks like me who are all about that Google Drive life, right? Bulk export.
Yeah.
That's a game changer, right?
Yeah.
Tell me, break down bulk export, what that means, and why we should be so excited about it.
So bulk export is going to save you a ton of time, right? Because instead of manually copying and pasting all the data into spreadsheets, you can use bulk export to send all that data straight to your Google Drive.
Okay.
It's organized and ready to be analyzed in tools like Hobo SEO.
Oh, see, this is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Because I literally used to spend hours, okay, download the report, pull it into a spreadsheet, try to make sense of it, clean it up, all that stuff. And it sounds like bulk export just eliminates all of that.
Pretty much, yeah.
Amazing. Okay. So we've gone from this basic Screaming Frog crawl to this fully automated data-driven SEO powerhouse. And it really makes you think, what other parts of our SEO workflow can we kind of streamline and apply this same mindset to, right?
Definitely. I mean, you can automate so much in SEO.
Right.
And that frees up a ton of your time to work on things that require, more creativity and strategic thinking, like creating good content and building relationships.
I love that. And that's really the ultimate goal here, right? It's not just about automation for automation's sake. It's about freeing up our time and energy to focus on the things that really move the needle.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I'm seriously fired up about this whole automation thing.
Me too.
I think we've uncovered some real gems here today.
Yeah, I hope so.
Definitely. Definitely. So, listeners, think about this. What parts of your SEO workflows are you still doing manually that could be automated? A really clear picture of your site's health without, staying up all night crunching numbers.
Nice.
We're going to be looking at how Screaming Frog, Google Drive, and these cool tools, Hobo SEO Dashboard and Hobo SF, all work together.
Awesome.
Ready to kind of unravel this.
Yeah, absolutely. That's like having this super efficient team of SEO detectives working behind the scenes, uncovering all those little details that can make or break your website's performance.
So let's start with Screaming Frog. For those who haven't met this little digital critter before, it's a website crawler. It goes through your site, clicking every link, collecting tons of SEO data.
Yeah, so imagine a spider meticulously weaving a web through your entire website, like mapping out every single page and element.
Right, right.
And what's really neat is that Screaming Frog can automatically export all that data, right, to Google Drive. So it's taking that raw data and turning it into something we can actually use.
Okay. Google Drive, our familiar friend. So it acts like the central hub, holding all the intel gathered by Screaming Frog. This is where Hobo SEO Dashboard and Hobo SF come in, right?
Precisely.
Yeah.
These tools are like expert analysts, right? Sifting through that data, pulling out the most important insights. And one of the key things they do is identify underperforming pages. These are pages that aren't attracting much traffic or engagement.
Right.
Which could mean, they're not optimized for search engines.
It's like finding those dusty corners of a library that nobody visits anymore.
Yeah.
I can see how that would be a problem. So how do these Hobo tools help us figure out why a page is underperforming?
Well, they take a multifaceted approach. They can pinpoint technical issues like broken links, which are a big no-no for both search engines and users. Imagine clicking a link and getting a 404 error. That's frustrating, right?
Yeah.
Search engines see this as a sign of like a poorly maintained website.
Yeah.
And it can really hurt your rankings.
Right. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
It's like hitting a dead end on a road trip. And what about those server errors, the 500s? I've seen those pop up occasionally, and they always make me kind of nervous.
Right. Those are definitely something you want to address quickly. They indicate a problem with your server, and just like broken links, they can negatively impact both user experience and your SEO.
Yeah.
Hobo SF can flag these right away so you can get them fixed, before they cause too much damage.
Okay, so broken links and server errors, those are definitely things to avoid. Our source recommends setting this to 10,000 pages. What do you think about that? Is there a reason for that specific number?
Well, imagine trying to eat an entire cake in one go. You'd probably get a stomach ache, right?
Yeah, probably not the best idea.
It's the same with Screaming Frog. We need to give it manageable chunks of your website to chew on. For most sites, 10,000 pages is a sweet spot. It gives you a comprehensive overview without overloading the tool.
That makes a lot of sense. So we're giving Screaming Frog a taste of the website, not the whole buffet.
Exactly, and you can automate all of this.
Amazing. And then all of this stuff is going right to my Google Sheet?
Yes, it is.
No more manual copying and pasting.
Exactly.
I love it.
And once it's in Google Sheets, there's so much you can do.
Oh, yeah.
You can manipulate the data. You can create custom formulas. You can even link it to other marketing tools.
Wow, that's really taking it to the next level.
It is. You're turning this raw data into actionable insights.
So it's about way more than just saving time.
It is.
This is about really getting a deep understanding of what's going on.
Absolutely.
So we can make better SEO decisions.
You can visualize trends. You can see where the problems are. You can track your progress.
Love that.
And Screaming Frog has this option to overwrite existing files.
Okay.
So every time it runs, you're getting the newest data.
So you're always working with the latest and greatest.
Exactly. Think about how you browse the web. Chances are you're on your phone, right?
Pretty much all the time.
Exactly. And you know what? Google knows that too. In fact, they now primarily use your site's mobile version for ranking.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
So by using Googlebot Smartphone as our user agent, we're basically seeing our website exactly how Google sees it.
That is so smart. So we're making sure that we're optimizing for what really matters.
Absolutely. We're speaking Google's language, so to speak.
Now let's get to the really cool part, configuration profiles. We can actually save all our settings so we don't have to repeat this whole process every single time. Talk about a time saver.
It's a game changer, especially if you're managing multiple websites or running regular audits. It just streamlines the whole process. And if you want even more control, you can even create custom configurations. So you can adjust the crawl depth, set up specific filters, even extract custom data.
So we're basically creating our perfect SEO audit recipe that we can use again and again.
Precisely. Once you've found what works for you, you can just save it as a profile and apply it to any website you're analyzing.
All right, so we've got our crawl limit set, our user agent picked, and our custom configuration saved. But we don't want to have to manually run this every time, right?
Absolutely not. And we don't have to. This is where the real magic of automation comes in.
I love it. So tell me, how do we get Screaming Frog to do all the heavy lifting for us?
It's actually super simple. We just need to set up a schedule. You can choose to run your audits daily, weekly, or monthly, whatever works best for you.
Wow. So imagine this. You wake up in the morning, grab your coffee, and boom, fresh SEO insights delivered right to your inbox. Talk about starting your day off right.
It's like having your own personal SEO assistant working around the clock.
This is amazing. But you know what would make it even more amazing?
Let me guess, even more automation.
You read my mind. The source mentions something about API integration with tools like Google Search Console and analytics.
APIs, those sound a little complicated.
I was thinking the same thing. What exactly are they, and how do they help us take our SEO audits to the next level?
Well, think of APIs like secret handshakes between different tools. By connecting Screaming Frog to your Google Search Console and analytics, you're letting them share data, talk to each other.
Okay, I'm starting to see how powerful this could be. But can you give me a concrete example of how this would actually work in practice?
Sure. Imagine Screaming Frog is crawling your site, and it finds a bunch of broken links, those pesky 404 errors. Now, on its own, that's useful information. But by connecting to Google Analytics, we can see how much traffic those broken links are actually costing you.
So we're not just identifying problems, we're actually seeing their real-world impact. That's incredible.
Exactly. It's all about turning data into actionable insights.
This is mind-blowing. Okay, we've got all this data coming in. Now, what do we do with it?
Time for export options. The source recommends Google Sheets. They're perfect for collaboration and sharing. And with the override option enabled, your reports will always be up to date.
Love that. Always having the latest information at my fingertips. The source also mentioned saving crawl data locally. Why would we do that?
It's like having a time machine for your website's SEO. You can go back, compare past crawls to current ones, and see exactly how changes you've made have affected your site over time.
A time machine? I like the sound of that. So we've got Google Sheets for up-to-the-minute reports and local storage for historical view. What kind of reports can we automate?
Well, two key reports you'll want to focus on are the crawl overview and the issues overview.
And what kind of SEO gold will we find in these reports?
Oh, all sorts of things. Broken links like we talked about, missing meta descriptions, slow loading pages, you name it. Screaming Frog will flag them all.
So Screaming Frog is like this amazing detective that sniffs out all the hidden problems on our website.
Exactly. It's your SEO sidekick, always on the lookout for ways to improve your site.
This is incredible. And the best part, all this data, all these reports, they all get neatly organized in Google Drive. Easy to access, easy to share. It's a dream come true.
I know, right? It's amazing how accessible all of this is. Straight to Google Sheets, I know.
Collaboration heaven.
So easy to share with your team.
With clients, with everybody.
Easy to collaborate on.
And it's all automatically updated too, right?
It's automatically updated because it's connected to all those live sources.
This is incredible.
I know, and we're not even done yet.
Wait, there's more?
There's more.
Get me.
We're going to talk about automated reports.
Automated reports, okay.
So this guide is highlighting two key reports.
Okay, alrighty.
The crawl overview
Okay.
and the issues overview.
Crawl overview and issues overview.
The crawl overview basically just shows you all the status codes for every page on your website.
So like the 200s, the 404s, that kind of thing.
Exactly. The 200s, the 404s.
So what's the big deal with those?
Well, they're super important because those codes tell you if a page is working or not.
So like a 200 means everything's good to go?
Everything's good to go.
The page is loading properly?
But a 404,
That's bad news.
that's bad news. That means it's a broken link.
And users are going to hit a dead end.
Exactly. And Google does not like that.
Google does not like dead ends.
So this report helps you find all those broken links.
So you can fix them.
So you can fix them. So that's the crawl overview.
Okay, crawl overview. We got it.
And then we've got the issues overview.
Okay, so what does this one tell us?
This one's really cool because it highlights all kinds of technical SEO problems,
Technical SEO problems like what?
like missing meta descriptions,
Okay,
canonical tag issues,
right.
slow loading pages.
Oh, slow loading pages. That's a big one.
Huge. And, you know, Google's getting really picky about that these days.
People have no patience anymore. And with the override existing files feature, we can always be sure we're working with the most up-to-date information.
Yes, absolutely. It's all about efficiency, right?
Yeah.
And clarity.
Exactly. Speaking of clarity, let's talk reports.
Okay, yeah.
We can automate the generation of crawl overview and issues overview reports.
We've got all our data. We've got our reports.
Yep.
What do we do next?
Well, according to this guide, we should be connecting Screaming Frog to our Google Drive.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Why is that so important?
Well, think about it. All those reports.
Yeah.
All that raw data.
Uh-huh.
You want to save all that,
We
right?
definitely wouldn't want to lose all that hard work.
And you want it to be organized.
Organized and easy to access.
And easy to access.
Especially if I need to go back and compare it to older crawls.
Exactly. So connecting it to Google Drive.
Makes it so easy.
It just automatically saves everything
Automatically.
in your Drive.
Love it.
It's so simple.
So I can share it with anyone I need to.
Share it with clients. Share it with your team.
This guide is a lifesaver. I never knew Screaming Frog could do all of this.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So powerful.
It's like having a whole SEO team working behind the scenes.
Okay, so you know that sinking feeling when you realize your website's SEO needs work? But the thought of doing a manual audit feels about as appealing as like stepping on a Lego.
Ouch. I feel that it's one of those essential but tedious tasks.
Right?
They can easily eat up hours of your time.
Exactly. But what if I told you there are tools out there that could automate a big chunk of that work for you?
Okay.
Freeing up your time and brain power to focus on that creative stuff.
Yeah.
And not just any tools, but ones that could potentially revolutionize your entire SEO game.
Okay, now you've got my attention.
Tell me more.
Yeah, tell me more.
So today's deep dive is all about two powerful allies in the fight for online visibility, Screaming Frog and Hobo SF.
Okay.
Ever heard of them?
Screaming Frog rings a bell.
Okay.
Isn't that a website crawler?
You're spot on
Okay.
with Screaming Frog.
Okay, cool.
It's like that friend who loves to explore every nook and cranny, except instead of dusty attics, it's meticulously mapping out every corner of your website.
Okay. I'm picturing it now, diligently following every link, analyzing every image.
Yes.
Creating a complete picture of your website's structure.
Yes.
But where does Hobo SF come in?
So think of Screaming Frog as the detective gathering all the evidence.
Yep.
And Hobo SF is the brilliant analyst back at HQ,
Right.
taking all that raw data and transforming it into actionable insights.
All right. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
So it's not just about identifying problems. It's about providing solutions.
You got it. We're talking detailed reports,
Okay.
prioritized to-do lists,
Uh-huh.
even automated alerts, all designed to help you improve your website's SEO and user experience.
Okay, so it's like having a whole team of SEO experts working behind the scenes.
Yes.
But without the hefty price tag.
Precisely. And the best part is,
Okay.
this dynamic duo is surprisingly accessible, even if you're not a tech whiz. Screaming Frog as the detective gathering all the evidence.
Yep.
And Hobo SF is the brilliant analyst back at HQ,
Right.
taking all that raw data and transforming it into actionable insights.
All right. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
So it's not just about identifying problems. It's about providing solutions.
You got it. We're talking detailed reports,
Okay.
prioritized to-do lists,
Uh-huh.
even automated alerts, all designed to help you improve your website's SEO and user experience.
Okay, so it's like having a whole team of SEO experts working behind the scenes.
Yes.
But without the hefty price tag.
Precisely. And the best part is,
Okay.
this dynamic duo is surprisingly accessible, even if you're not a tech whiz.
Well, now I'm really curious to unpack this.
Okay.
Let's dive into the specifics.
Okay.
How exactly do Screaming Frog and Hobo SF work together?
Imagine this. You set Screaming Frog loose on your website, scheduling regular crawls like a weekly or monthly checkup.
Okay.
This little digital explorer scours your site, checking for anything and everything that might be affecting its performance.
Okay, so Screaming Frog is off on its merry way, crawling through our website and gathering all this data.
Yes.
What happens next?
Okay.
Where does Hobo SF step in?
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Hobo SF swoops in
Okay.
and grabs all those juicy details from Screaming Frog's crawl reports.
Uh-huh.
But here's the kicker.
Okay.
It doesn't just dump a mountain of data in your lap.
Okay.
Hobo SF is all about turning that raw information into something you can actually use.
Okay, so instead of spending hours deciphering spreadsheets,
Right.
Hobo SF presents the findings in a way that's clear, concise,
Yes.
and dare I say, even a little bit fun.
Exactly. It's like having that super organized friend
Right.
who color codes their notes and uses highlighters strategically. But in this case, it's all about making SEO feel less overwhelming
Right.
and way more approachable.
Okay, color-coded SEO reports.
Yeah.
I'm sold. But let's talk specifics.
Okay.
What kind of issues can these tools actually uncover?
Oh, where do we even begin? Remember that time you poured your heart into writing an amazing blog post,
Oh, yeah.
only to discover it was buried on page 10 of your site's search results?
Don't remind me.
Yeah, that's...
It's like my writing went into a black hole.
Well, Hobo SF is here to shine a light on those hidden gems.
Okay.
It can help you identify those underperforming pages, figure out why they're not getting the traffic they deserve,
Right.
and give you concrete steps to boost their visibility.
So it's not just about finding problems.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the why behind them.
Yes.
And getting personalized recommendations.
Yes.
That's huge.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's like having a customized SEO strategy session.
Right.
But instead of paying a consultant hundreds of dollars, you've got Screaming Frog and Hobo SF working tirelessly behind the scenes.
This is starting to sound too good to be true.
I know, right?
Are there any other SEO headaches these tools can help us alleviate?
You bet. Let's talk about broken links for a second.
Okay.
Have you ever clicked on a link only to be met with that dreaded 404 page not found error?
Ugh. The worst.
Yeah.
It's like hitting a dead end when you're trying to get somewhere important.
Exactly. And it's not just frustrating for visitors, it can also hurt your SEO.
Oh, yeah.
But fear not, because Screaming Frog is like a bloodhound when it comes to sniffing out those broken links.
So no more manually checking every single link on our website.
No more.
That's a huge time saver.
You got it. And it's not just broken links. Screaming Frog and Hobo SF can also uncover a whole host of other issues.
Okay, such as
like missing image descriptions.
image descriptions. Those are important for SEO.
You bet they are. They're officially called alt text,
Okay.
and they serve two really important purposes. First, they help search engines understand what your images are about,
Right.
which can boost your rankings.
Right.
But here's the even cooler part.
Okay.
Alt text is also crucial for accessibility.
Really?
Yeah. People who are visually impaired use screen readers to navigate the web,
Right.
and alt text provides that context for images.
Oh, wow. So by using these tools to identify missing image descriptions,
Yes.
we're not just boosting our SEO. We're making our websites more inclusive for everyone.
Exactly. And Hobo SF doesn't just flag the missing descriptions.
Oh, wow.
It can actually suggest relevant alt text based on the content of the page.
Talk about a time saver.
Oh, no, right?
Okay, you mentioned a whole host of issues these tools can uncover.
Yes.
Anything else we should be aware of?
Well, this might sound like a small detail,
Yeah.
but it can make a big difference.
Okay.
Screaming Frog can actually detect errors in page numbering sequences.
Page numbering sequences.
Yes.
Now that sounds incredibly specific.
It is very specific.
Yeah,
But think about it. Have you ever been on a website where the page numbers were all over the place?
I have.
Like somehow page 3 is listed before page 2.
And it's incredibly frustrating. It makes me question the credibility of the entire website.
Exactly. And it can confuse search engines too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hobo SF makes sure your site provides a smooth, logical experience
Okay.
by flagging any inconsistencies in those page numbers.
It's all about the details, isn't it?
Hmm.
I'm starting to realize that SEO is about so much more than just keywords.
You're getting it. It's about creating a website that's not only discoverable,
Right.
but also enjoyable and easy to navigate for everyone. Okay, so we've talked about how Screaming Frog and Hobo SF can crawl our websites, identify SEO issues, and even automate reports.
Yeah,
But information is only powerful
Yeah.
if we actually use it right.
exactly.
And that's where the reporting side of these tools really shines.
Okay, reporting.
Yes.
Talk to me because, honestly, who has time to create detailed SEO reports every week?
I know, right?
It's like a whole other job.
It really is.
Yeah.
But picture this.
Okay.
You open your inbox on Monday morning,
Okay.
and there it is, a beautifully formatted report with all the key SEO insights for your website.
Wait, are you saying I can automate these reports?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hobo SF lets you schedule reports to be generated and sent directly to you or your clients on autopilot.
Okay, now that's what I call working smarter, not harder.
Right.
Imagine the time and energy we could save.
So much time, so much energy.
Yeah.
And these aren't just dry, static documents.
Okay.
Hobo SF creates dynamic, interactive reports that let you drill down into specific issues,
Oh, wow.
track your progress over time, and even visualize your data with charts and graphs.
So it's like having a live dashboard for your website's SEO,
Yes.
constantly updating and providing actionable insights.
You got it. And because Hobo SF lives inside Google Sheets,
Okay.
it's easy to collaborate with team members or clients,
Right.
share feedback, and track everyone's progress.
This is incredible.
I know, right?
But let's address the elephant in the room. All of this sounds pretty high-tech.
Okay.
Is it going to take us months to learn how to use these tools?
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
But honestly, both Screaming Frog and Hobo SF are designed with user-friendliness in mind.
Okay.
The learning curve is surprisingly manageable.
Plus, didn't the article mention something about this being an indie hacker project?
It did.
Yeah.
And that's actually a really good thing.
Okay.
Indie hacker basically means it's built by a small team or even a solo developer who is super passionate about solving a specific problem.
So it's not about corporate bureaucracy and profit margins.
All right.
It's about creating a tool that truly makes a difference for people like us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And because these indie hackers are often users themselves,
Right.
they understand the pain points and are usually very responsive to feedback, constantly updating and improving their products.
That's a refreshing change from some of the clunky corporate software out there.
Right. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've talked about how Screaming Frog and Hobo SF can crawl our websites, identify SEO issues, and even automate reports.
Right.
But what does it all boil down to?
Okay.
Why should our listener care about any of this?
Because in today's digital landscape, a well-optimized website is no longer a luxury.
Right.
It's a necessity.
It is.
And these tools empower you to take control of your online presence, attract more visitors, and ultimately achieve your business goals.
Exactly. It's about leveling the playing field, whether you're a seasoned SEO pro or just starting out.
And beyond the technical aspects.
Yeah.
It's about creating a website that is truly user-friendly, accessible, and enjoyable for everyone who visits.
Well said. So to our listener, if you're ready to unlock the full potential of your website and make SEO feel less like a chore and more like a competitive advantage, Screaming Frog and Hobo SF are definitely worth checking out.
Absolutely. And remember, SEO is an ongoing journey, not a destination.
That's a good point.
Yeah, these tools provide the insights and automation you need to stay ahead of the curve.
Right.
But it's your creativity and understanding of your audience that will truly make your website shine. We've got actual stuff from the tool's website right here.
Like we're getting a peek behind the curtain, always good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so they describe this Hobo SF multi-site as a complete SEO auditing system built in Google Sheets.
Okay, Google Sheets. So that's interesting right off the bat. Most people have used those love-hate relationship, maybe. But powerful.
For sure. So that kind of grabbed my attention. But then it says it uses Screaming Frog files. And I'm like, Screaming Frog, is that even SEO anymore? So that's kind of intense.
Yeah, Screaming Frog, not exactly a beginner term. It's actually a really well-known website crawler, like the industry standard for a lot of SEO pros.
Okay, so like it crawls through your site and tells you what's up.
Exactly. It digs into all the data, your pages, your links, the whole structure. And then you use that data to figure out how to make things better, optimize everything.
Gotcha. So this tool takes that Screaming Frog info and puts it into a Google Sheet. Why is that a big deal?
Because then you can actually do something with it, especially if you've got multiple websites you're trying to manage. See, the website says it helps you prioritize your web development tasks and predict your budget spend and estimated timescales. That's huge.
Yeah, if you're working with a team on these massive projects. And they even say that teams, like this tool is laser focused on, quote, web development teams to manage multiple sites.
This isn't for someone just starting out with their little blog. This is serious SEO stuff.
Definitely. So we're starting to get a picture of who this is for. But what about if it actually works? Well, they've got this testimonial right on the homepage, and it just says, Hobo SF Sheets is a beast.
Okay, strong words. Testimonials can be tricky. Got to take them with a grain of salt. But beast, that's pretty enthusiastic, you know? And it says it's from an early bird purchase.
Oh, interesting. So someone who is like really ready to jump on this.
Exactly. They probably already knew they had this problem and were looking for a solution. And it gets even more specific. The testimonial talks about detailed technical audits and working with the dev team.
Right. They're speaking directly to that audience we were talking about, the people who are already knee-deep in the technical side of SEO.
And those are the people who really feel the pain of trying to manage all this stuff across multiple websites.
Totally. All right, so for a lot of people, the make or break is going to be the price tag, right? Yeah. And on the website, it says Hobo SF for Google Sheets costs only GBP $199.
Only? That's doing some heavy lifting there.
Right.
Just for the techies out there.
Not at all.
This is for anyone with a website, really.
Absolutely. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
You could have the best online store, right? Amazing products. But if it takes forever to load.
Forget it.
Or people can't find what they're looking for, they're gone.
On to the next one.
Exactly. And that's where SEO comes in. Make sure your website is, well, it's the life of the party.
Instead of that one awkward guest no one wants to talk to.
Exactly. Fast, easy to navigate, all the good stuff.
Okay, so let's get into it. We've got this SEO audit in front of us, right? For hoboweb.co.uk.
Okay.
It's like getting a peek behind the curtain, seeing how Google sees this website.
It's like a report card almost.
Yeah, but instead of grades, it's all about rankings.
And this audit is comprehensive. It digs deep into all sorts of technical stuff, the stuff Google uses to rank a website.
So we're talking, what, core web vitals?
Yeah, core web vitals, mobile friendliness, all of it.